And welcome everybody to the OEFC outlet. I'm Brian Gordon, and appreciate everybody showing up today. Catch this February episode of the OEFC outlet. Got some really cool things to talk about this week or this month. First of all, we're going to talk about camp and tryouts, a little bit of a change there. And then we're going to mention the ECNL Spring Break Camp with Coach Mark Howard. Should be fun. Hey, we got a new sponsor at OEFC. Talk a little bit about them, and then I'm super excited about our guest, Kit Stephenson with Rise Futsal. Talk all futsal and teach everybody what's out there. So let's get started. Tryouts. Here's where we are. If anybody watched the last episode, you're looking at these dates and you're saying something's changed. Well, let me tell you what changed. Essentially, OSA recently at their AGM or their general meeting made the decision that tryouts can't be held until after the rain-out dates for State Cup. Usually, we schedule our tryout when State Cup is over, or the week after State Cup, which we had done previously for the last week of May. When they moved tryout date to the following week, that made it necessary for us to push tryouts for our kids to the following week. So, a little bit of a typo I just noticed. So tryouts is going to be May, not June 31st, May 31st. And then June 1st, 2nd, and 3rd for the U15 through U19 boys and girls. And then June 3rd, 4th, and 5th for the U11 and 14 boys and girls, with the rain-out day being June 6th. So make sure you put that on your calendar. Again, it's not June 31st, it's May 31st. I must have rushed to fix that. So anyway, watch our social media. We'll open up registration pretty quickly, probably in March, and then have everybody start signing up. If this move messed up some vacation plans, or your kids are already scheduled to go to a camp or something, don't fret. Reach out, let your coach know that you're not going to be able to make tryouts, and we're going to have an absentee sign up for tryouts that anybody who's not going to be able to make tryouts can sign up. We're going to get that list to all the coaches so that they make sure that they can account for every kid who wants to play in OEFC for the 22-23 year. So don't worry if this messed up your schedule. We'll adapt. We got plenty of time. So looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great amount of fun. Now, also a great amount of fun coming up for spring break. We are holding a boys ECNL spring break camp for the 12s, 11s, and 10s, I believe. So it's going to be March 14th through the 16th, 5 p.m. to 6:30 at Edmond Soccer Complex. So make sure that if you're wanting to do that, sign up for that. I believe sign up is on our website, as well as just watch our social media. It should be a lot of fun. Mark Howard is an amazing coach, and you will love him. So make sure you take advantage of that. If you have any questions, email Mark Howard, or feel free to email me. Also, hey, we've got a new sponsor. Super excited for Superior Construction Management to come out and sponsor our club. They're doing a kind of a new sponsorship with us, so look for some pennies with their logo on it coming out for the entire club. Can't tell you how much we appreciate them. Their sponsorship allows us to do a lot of things that we're wanting to do, help out with scholarships, and really do some more stuff with the club. So if you're interested in being a sponsor, reach out to me, let me know. I'm happy to help out. But again, thank you to Superior Construction Management for your support. We really, really, really appreciate it, and are super excited to have you as a sponsor. So now let's really get to the meat of the thing, our broadcast today. Have a special guest, Kit Stephenson. Kit is the director of Rise Futsal, and joining us, got some really cool announcements for a partnership between Rise and OEFC, but I won't steal his thunder. So Kit, welcome. Appreciate you joining us on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you guys very much. It's always good to talk futsal with anybody that'll listen.
Well, and that crowd is growing. I mean, that's the neat thing about futsal, is that you just see more and more kids getting involved in it, and it's I think it's really catching on.
Yeah, usually when people come in and give it a try and are in there for a month or even a week or 2 weeks, They usually don't leave. Not to say that they always play with us, but the futsal landscape has grown so much. I think even I think here in a little bit we'll talk a little bit about a tournament coming up, but even people around the city that didn't realize how big futsal actually already was.
Right.
So we kind of get into this tournament. I think it surprised a few people around here that they're like, wow, there's really teams coming from all over the place for this. I didn't realize it was that big, but it's really grown a lot over the last decade or so.
So let's start at the beginning. What is futsal for the people who aren't familiar with futsal, or may have just been newly introduced to it? Educate everybody a little bit on what futsal is.
Yeah, so on its face, it seems pretty simple. It's soccer indoors. That's what the name futsal actually is kind of where it kind of came from. It's played on a hard court. The ball is a little bit different than a soccer ball. It's a little bit smaller for each age. So there's different sizes of futsal balls, just like there is soccer balls. But your U18 kids will play with a size 5 soccer ball, and the futsal ball is about the same size as a size 4. So it's kind of a size down from what they're used to, and the ball also doesn't bounce. It's a lot of people say it's heavier. I'm not 100% convinced that it's necessarily heavier, but it definitely doesn't bounce. We actually popped one open one time to see what was in it, and it's filled with like what's inside your pillow. So it just kind of doesn't give the same bounce.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, so my kids played years back, and it did seem like it was a denser soccer ball, is it kind of the way I would describe it. But it didn't bounce as much. It didn't move as lightly as a traditional soccer ball is. But that's part of the benefit of it, because it really helps you with your foot skills in that end.
Oh yeah, I mean for me, everything about futsal, and there's different methodologies. So in my opinion, when it's done correctly, it's so beneficial to soccer players. But yeah, I mean the ball's a little bit different. It's smaller, and for most people does feel a little bit heavier. In terms of like the numbers of players on the field or on the court, we play 4v4 and with plus 2 goalkeepers. And then the space is obviously smaller because typically the courts that we play on are slightly larger than a basketball court. But as futsal's grown, finding actual futsal courts isn't an easy thing to do.
Right.
Oklahoma is probably for the people listening too. They're like, oh no, we see futsal courts all over the place, but Oklahoma and Oklahoma City specifically has been extremely lucky to have as many futsal courts as we have. The rest of the country is not like us. We almost look like Sao Paulo, where we're at here with this many futsal courts. But
and a lot of that's too. Is it Fields and Futures that worked with U.S. Soccer to put a lot of those outside futsal courts around?
Absolutely. No, yeah, and we've been to just about all of them because we helped, open those up and that kind of thing. We would run some futsal stuff on them, and it's awesome. I still drive by, and Garrett, a lot of people that I work with drive by them all the time, and they're just people out there playing all the time. And I think that's honestly, I think that's a lot of what the culture and the United States in general, but especially in Oklahoma City is missing. Is there's not just a lot of not organized and just kids going to play and have fun, and they're trying rainbows and stuff, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's Fields and Futures has been incredible, over the top. I actually was at the coaches convention last month, and I think it was Musco Lighting was there, and they had some models of these futsal courts, and I walked by and the guy was talking to somebody, but I was like, I've seen those before, and he's like, oh, where did you see one? And I was like, I'm from Oklahoma City, and he's like, oh, Fields and Futures. Yeah, he knew all. He was like, you guys are incredible. That's like the mecca for futsal courts in Oklahoma City. So yeah, we've been lucky to have that many courts. But even those courts are, most of those are, I think maybe all of them are like concrete surface courts. A lot of the courts we play on have like sport court. They're the squares that kind of snap together, and they'll have like a underlayment under them. But
They're in gyms too. I mean, so that's the kind of
Yeah.
where a lot of where you trained are inside gyms, and so they've laid this over basketball courts or volleyball courts or something along that lines, right?
Yeah, I would even just put the lines down or tape the lines down. People play in basketball courts all the time. And honestly, when
Mm-hmm.
we first started this, even a lot of the tournaments we went to, we played on basketball lines.
Yep.
For a couple of years, we didn't even realize that the arc wasn't the same as a basketball arc. We were like, well, how convenient that we can just play on basketball. And then we, as we got into it, we learned a little bit more. But yeah, it's any hard surface is really. The kids play on asphalt all the time. Just anywhere they can find to play. It's the thing for me. The magic of futsal is the ball and the tight spaces and all that stuff definitely helps, but the rules and kind of the tactics and the culture especially that futsal kind of creates that's where like the magic happens in terms of like development and passion and kids falling in love with it. So yeah, it's very similar to soccer, and then there's also a lot of things that are quite a bit different from soccer
Yeah,
as well.
it's a lot less contact too, right? If I remember correctly, with futsal you really can't contact. It's all about finesse. It's all about foot skill and how you can beat somebody without physical strength, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. Technique over force all the time. The shoulder charges and that kind of stuff you don't see, and I say you don't see in the same fashion that you do in soccer.
Right.
It's a lot different. The thing that's interesting is people, when we moved into our new gym, it had a concrete floor, and I thought, man, we should just paint this floor and put like a good surface on it and play futsal on this. There's nothing better than this. And then we decided not to because we were just afraid of doing what they do in Brazil. If we did that in the U.S., if it would be frowned upon to be playing on concrete. So we decided to go ahead and go with the sport court. But it's interesting, man, how if they're playing on grass, they fall all the time.
Yeah.
If they're playing on sport court, they fall a lot. If they're playing on concrete, they don't fall very much. If they're playing on asphalt, they don't fall at all. So
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting how it all works. There are, and the stuff that we do in our leagues and our tournaments with the youth players, we allow kids to slide to block or to shoot or to score, so they can slide to do something with the ball, but we don't allow them to slide tackle. But like at the pro level, they slide tackle and that kind of thing in there, but it's just a little bit different. If your left winger decides to slide tackle an outside back in soccer and they miss, you got probably 8, 9, 10 players behind the ball that it's not a huge problem.
Right.
But in futsal, it's a much larger risk to leave your feet, because if you do miss, if they do come up with the ball, then they're in scoring position immediately. So there's a little bit of contact. It's certainly not like you would expect in soccer. So I would say it's just a different kind of contact, probably.
So when we look at futsal as a program and as a game, and kids just doing it for fun, then there's a translation of the benefits of the training around futsal, and that's what I think a lot of soccer players and clubs are starting to see is, that futsal skills and what you learn on a futsal court, there is a direct correlation to how you can use in an outdoor court on grass. Talk a little bit about that and what you're seeing and along those lines.
Yeah, I think, I would encourage, like I said, this is my soapbox, so I'm more than happy to talk about. I would, though, before I get on my soapbox, I would encourage, there's a lot of kids that are playing futsal under several different methodologies in Oklahoma City, and they all love it for different reasons and that kind of thing. I would say at this point it's probably going to be pretty hard for a soccer parent to not be able to find somebody that plays futsal. So I would encourage parents to just talk to other parents who have been in different gyms and have seen futsal and seen what it's done for their kid, because it makes a massive difference. But there's kind of, I guess, two answers to that question for me. First, when we're talking about like what does futsal do for a soccer player,
Right.
I don't know if if you ever read The Talent Code by Daniel Coyle.
I have not.
You need to. You said you had that trip coming up, so you need to
I've
take
got
this
some
with you.
reading time on a plane that I can use.
Yeah. It's basically about the author traveled the world and went to these different hotbeds of talent and soccer and in chess and tennis, you name it, baseball. Went to the Dominican for baseball, and was trying to figure out like what is it about, like why, I mean, are these Dominican human beings just born with more baseball talent than anybody else in the world, or is there something going on? And so he obviously found that culture and environment and stuff changes a lot, but it kind of got scientific. And what he talks about a lot in the book is myelin. And so I always use this to kind of explain futsal to people, because if you think of like a wire that you're going to run electricity through, and if you just run electricity through it and the wire's not insulated, it's it's not stable, and it's vulnerable to short circuits, and it's not going to be very efficient. But if you insulate it a little bit, then it's a little bit better. Insulate it a lot, super efficient, straight line, it does the job that it's supposed to do. And so he kind of uses that as an explanation for the way that our brain works. When every time we practice something, you've heard of the 10,000 hour rule, where you
Right.
can master
Yes.
something. So his explanation is that there's actually a chapter on futsal in this talent code book, and he talks about how the reason is because we have all these circuits in our brain, and every time we practice something and challenge ourselves, we insulate those circuits that allow us to accomplish a technique, or to make a decision quicker, or to see things on the court. And the more often you do it, and the more you challenge yourself while you're doing it, the more insulation you get, and that insulation is called myelin. So he talks about myelin a lot in the book, but he uses that because that's what futsal does. It places these kids in a position that, the young kids that come in, they're challenged by like we were talking about, like by the ball, by the space, by the rules and the culture and the tactics and all those things. They're challenged by those. But even our kids that have been in it with us for 10 years now and are 18 years old, they're still challenged by all those things, because now it's even more difficult in that same space, right? Because everybody's faster and stronger and thinking better and more efficiently. So that's sort of the sentence I always use, I guess. The definition is futsal, and this I think is actually in the book too, but futsal takes all of soccer's essential problems and it puts it in a much smaller box. So everything has to be quick. I lost you a little bit there, Brian. The audio went out. Yeah, I can't hear you. It's coming through like a mouse. There we go. Yeah. Oh, no, it went away again. No, I can't hear it. There's no audio. You want me to just keep going what I was going on? Yeah. So yeah, it compresses I think that it's you hear people talk about all the time, like, oh yeah, futsal. I've heard about futsal. We're going to use that. We use futsal every winter to sharpen our foot skills, or to work on technique, or to get better at dribbling, something like that. But and that's great. I think that futsal, a little bit of futsal is better than no futsal. But I would also say that you're not going to get the results that you want unless you try to become a futsal player. Futsal players are what go into soccer games and make a difference and change. If these kids that do come in and they do a little bit of training here and there and stuff, their parents are always very happy, and they are more technical, and that's great. But the ones who we've seen bump up, even at OEFC, where there's obviously a very deep talent pool and a lot of good players. We've seen kids bump up 2 and 3 teams within a year and a half. They're just getting called up to the next team. And obviously these kids are working very, very hard, but they're also playing futsal all the time and trying to become good futsal players. And so I think and that's the reason, why Santos FC has put out, dozens of the best players in the world, like Pele and Neymar and, most recently Rodrigo. We actually got to see Rodrigo play in Dallas one time at City Futsal, and he just got picked up by Real Madrid. But you've got, we could go through the laundry list of players. Christian Pulisic as well grew up playing futsal, and he didn't grow up. He didn't grow up just using futsal as like a stopgap in the winter. He grew up playing futsal at his dad's place and playing with a bunch of the Brazilian guys that played indoor with his dad. And so, futsal as playing futsal with the intention of becoming a good futsal player is where you're going to see the difference. And that takes time, because you don't develop that myelin and sharpen all those circuits, by just doing it a little bit over the winter. If you don't use it, you lose it too. So we always try to encourage people to stay in it as much as possible. And it's been, for us, it's been a dream come true, because we've been doing this since the beginning in Oklahoma, and we've, just been, hoping and praying that like it would take hold and these people with, groups with more power than us would buy in. And now you're seeing, massive clubs around the country that are implementing full-scale futsal programs. All the MLS Next clubs, at least to my knowledge, all of them have futsal programs. At that coaching convention last month, I talked to the new Brazilian guy. He's a new hire for Orlando FC. They just hired him as a futsal director. So they're going to have a full-on futsal program, but it's something that's needed more consistently than just trying to throw it in here and there to sharpen your skills, I would say. But yeah, so that's part of the answer, I think, is like scientifically, what is it doing in the brain? It's these kids are touching the ball. Studies have shown that these kids touch the ball 600% more per minute than they do on a soccer field.
Wow. So that's a lot of thinking. That's a lot of reaction.
Right. So if they're making the right decisions, and even if they're not, if they make bad decisions and make mistakes, then what we're big proponents on, make mistakes, make all the mistakes you want, but do it with confidence, and then let's talk about the mistake and let's figure out, why did you make the decision you made? Okay, well, now we can talk a little bit about maybe what a better decision would have been. But the biggest thing for me is if I ask a kid, hey, why did you pass that ball right there, that they have an answer. Because if they're just like, I don't know, I got scared and kicked it. Well, that's not good enough, right? We have to sharpen that up a little bit and make a decision, good or bad. I don't care. But the best players in the world are the most efficient, most intelligent players out there. I mean, if you look in the men's game and the women's game, the best ones in the world are always smarter than everybody else on the field. So we do that a lot. I think the intelligence piece is part of that answer. And the second part is kind of, I guess, like how it implements into soccer, which is relatively new, to be honest, Brian, because when we started this, we started it we started it as a training program for soccer. And then futsal just got really popular and everybody loved it and they want to start going to competitions. And as we start, getting into these different levels of competitions and you work your way up in that, it became something where we had to sort of decide, okay, well, are we a futsal club or are we like a development piece for soccer, right? And so as we talked to people, that have been doing this a lot longer than us, they were like, you're not going to truly, revolutionize or help the soccer development piece unless you just become a futsal club, unless you guys really just start focusing on being really good at futsal.
Right.
And, not so much worrying about like, how do I translate this all the time? And so we did, we went that route, and honestly, they were right, because we've seen our players they've grown much quicker, and it is translating to soccer. And, we can go through all the, even keeper techniques today. Like if you watch the De Gea's and the Manuel Neuers and some of these best keepers in the world, they're making futsal saves all the time that you didn't see keepers make back in the day. Everything was
Right.
with their hands, right? Now these getting low and dropping one knee and sticking your foot out is a whole thing now. So um, so even down to like these little techniques from the keeper into the like a popular shot in soccer is because it's such a tight space, you don't have time to always like wind up and really
Right.
lace a shot. So we use a toe poke shot a lot. And if you watch like the Premier League, some of these best players, when I grew up, every coach I ever had was like, no, don't ever use your toe. Don't use your toe. Don't use your toe. That was a big, big no-no. Now you watch Neymar play and he's scoring 20 goals a year in tight
Yep.
spaces by, using his toe. So
I've got a friend who lived and died on the toe poke, and it was a goal. It counted just as much as a bicycle kick or a
right.
shot from 30 yards out. It was a goal. So yeah, it's a powerful. And being a goalkeeper for when I played, I hated toe pokes because number one, you couldn't judge the kick because it wasn't a
Right.
traditional follow through. Number
Right.
two, you couldn't judge direction because it was a toe poke. It's almost like a knuckleball.
Yeah.
Yep. And number three, it happens so quick. You don't see the wind up. You don't. I mean, so you're just reacting at that point. And so it was the scariest kicks were almost the toe pokes, not the ones that were driven from 40 yards out or 20 yards out. So I get that.
Yeah, I
You had
think it's
mentioned the MLS next because I really want to introduce kind of our schedule to everybody and our
right.
next step in our partnership, which folks, what we're doing is we're partnering. OEFC is going to partner with Rise in what we're bringing, what we call $5 futsal. And so basically, under Kit's leadership, we've devised a number of training sessions that different age kids can go and participate in futsal practices. If you're an OEFC player, then you can go out and participate in these futsal practices, and it's $5. And so this is a great way that we felt like we could introduce our membership, give them exposure to futsal. If they've been around futsal, then it's a great way to take advantage of it. If you're new to futsal, hey, it's going to cost you $5 to go out there and experience it. And so, Kid, tell them a little bit about the schedule. Tell them about where the facilities are and how to contact you and questions that they might have.
Yeah, so I mean, you covered the basics. It'd be $5 when the kids come in. Encourage everybody to come give it a shot and see if the kids like it. I imagine they will. It's a lot more fast paced. There's shots constantly and stuff. It's almost like the we call it the spectator sport version of soccer for people who struggle to watch a 90-minute soccer game. If it feels slow to them, then they can come into futsal and really enjoy it. So the parents will enjoy it too. But yeah, to come in, it'd be $5. We'll be. It won't be. I wanted to mention that it won't be technical training. We will be working a lot on decisions and putting kids in intense situations, abnormal situations where they have to solve problems, maybe that they've never seen. And so there'll be some struggle, right? With the kids, they're going to see things that they've never seen, but the light bulb comes on pretty quickly, and you see development pretty rapidly in this. So yeah, the gym is the gym that we'll use, and we'll expand this, and as interest grows and that kind of thing, then hopefully we'll use however many gyms you guys want to use. We'll do whatever we need to
Right.
do. Get as many kids into futsal as we can, but we will. The gym is at 5000 South Santa Fe in Oklahoma City. We basically what we did is on the schedule is there's essentially 2 opportunities per week for each age group to come in. For most age groups, the youngest age group, there's the 1 opportunity on the weekend, but I tried to set it up to where there was like a weeknight opportunity, but I know everybody's got busy schedules and sometimes 2 or 3 soccer sessions. So we set it up to where there's 1 weeknight opportunity, and then there's also a weekend opportunity for them to come in and give it a shot. And we'll do everything we can to get good numbers in and make it a good representation, and just kind of go from there.
Yep. And as everybody sees, even with the youngest age group, it goes down to the 14s and the 13s. So,
Yeah.
our parent clubs, NOKC and ESC, those players are welcome to take advantage of this opportunity as well. Come out and train, $5, and get, some futsal experience, and see if it's something that you really like. If you have questions, then definitely email Kit. He's got that really, really short email address that you can kind of see driven down on the side of the thing. And he'll absolutely help you out. I think it'll be a really, really fun program for everybody. Really just, to get familiar with it, because futsal is growing. It's got an amazing community that's growing. And the culture is some of the best that you can see, because it's rewarding. Every event seems to be very, very rewarding. So we are super excited as OEFC to partner with Rise and bringing this to our membership, and love the fact that we can give them these opportunities. And then you'd parlay that into our next conversation. I don't know if everybody's heard, but we have a big futsal showcase coming up here at the end of the month in Oklahoma City. It's going to be at the Omni. And this is an amazing opportunity for OEFC players, amazing opportunity for Oklahoma City players at that, and really an amazing opportunity for Oklahoma City. So, Kit, I'm trying not to steal your thunder, but I'm too excited about it. Tell them a little bit about the showcase.
Yeah. So, United Futsal and OG&E are going to put on this showcase, and it'll be February 25th through the 27th. And as we've been working on this, we've seen that there's some outdoor conflicts and things that are on that same weekend. There are already a lot of OEFC kids that are going to be playing in this. There are also teams from, we've got Cadence coming in, we've got Chicago Street Futsal coming in, a couple different clubs from Dallas. I think maybe Houston's bringing a group. So and these groups that are coming in are very talented, futsal focused academies. So you're going to see some high quality futsal in there. So I would encourage everybody, February 25th to the 27th, if there are some soccer conflicts and stuff and you weren't able to play, there'll be more opportunities. But stop by the convention center. First of all, I don't know if you guys have seen the new convention center, but if you've walked around in there, but that place is incredible. We played in these convention centers all over the place for these futsal tournaments, even like in Orlando, right by Disney. And honestly, ours is probably better than anybody's we've been in. It's a really impressive facility. So come in and check out the new convention center, and there will be some super high quality games. And so, especially if you can come in Sunday and check out some of those finals, you'll see the culture. Because I could sit here and talk about the culture and the excitement. There's shots every 30 seconds, but I can't capture what it actually is. Nobody can with words. And so the first time somebody, even if you have no interest, if you have no vested interest in either team that's playing, it's just an incredible atmosphere to see all those people gathered around the court, and last second goals are a common thing. The stuff that we get super excited about in soccer happens all the time in futsal, and leads change constantly. So the culture is just incredible. Everybody should definitely come out and try to, at least catch some games and that kind of thing. But yeah, no, OG&E, always a big supporter of the Oklahoma City youth. They've done several things, but this is the newest thing, and this is massive to bring this tournament, because people who aren't in futsal probably may or may not have heard about United Futsal, but we've done this, like I said, for a decade now, and we've seen top to bottom futsal, and there are a lot of great futsal organizations out there. There's a lot of great futsal being played all over the place. United Futsal, in terms of their events, the competition level is just second to none. It's fantastic. And then they make everybody feel like they're worth $1 million too. It's like the decorations and the social media, just the attention that the players get, the culture that they create is incredible. So there's just not a better opportunity or event to go check out than this one. It's going to be, it's right here at home. It's right down the street. Come grab lunch and check out a futsal game. But it's you're getting to see the power of OG&E, support something that's run by United Futsal, which is the best of the best. So
and it's a
really cool
to
opportunity.
It's going to be a feeder tournament to the national championship, right?
Yeah, so they're making it a showcase, and so United Futsal runs. There's actually kind of three tournaments that go on in the summer in Florida. One of them is the national championship. That yeah, if you win this event, then you get a bid into that national tournament. So they run some of these showcases around the country, and yeah, the winners will get a bid into that national championship, which is awesome because they bring like international teams in from Brazil and stuff. It's pretty incredible.
Yep, amazing stuff. It's going to be an incredible opportunity. And are they still looking for teams? I don't know that we've talked about that.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of age brackets. I guess I should have looked that up before I got on here. I'm not sure which age brackets they are. Um, I think the 2011 2012 girls bracket might still need some.
Okay.
So, and then I think there might have been one other one. So I'll get a hold of Rob and Choco and those guys and verify that 100%.
Well, long and short is, folks, if your team is something, if it is interested in participating, email Kit, and
Yeah,
he can let you know if there's availability to participate in this showcase. If not, then definitely take advantage of the $5 futsal and get involved. So,
absolutely.
just amazing stuff. And I don't think that we could be any more excited about the partnership between Rise and the energy and the things that we're starting to lay out and opportunities we're offering our kids. So, we're really thankful for you guys, for you specifically, and helping us put this together, and really excited to see how it all develops.
No, it's gonna be awesome. I know there'll be people will love it when they get in. And like I said, there's already a whole bunch of OEFC kids that are playing futsal. So the word will get out, and once people start coming in, I think they'll fall in love with it. I was gonna say too, Brian, on the $5 futsal
Mm-hmm.
is I've had a few people ask me already about it, and they're asking about like competitions and stuff and what that looks like. And so I wanted to mention that right now we're rolling out a training schedule and that kind of thing, but there are, we mentioned a couple. We mentioned the Oklahoma City one and then the one in Florida. There's stuff in Dallas and Kansas City. There's futsal competitions all over the place. Other ones in Oklahoma City. So as we kind of get closer to those dates and that kind of thing, and people have been doing the $5 futsal thing, and we're kind of seeing some consistency with that, then we'll definitely be open to like competitions and that kind of thing too. So I don't want people to think that they're
It's
training
just
to
training.
just
They
train.
have other opportunities.
Yeah, there'll be opportunities to go get on the big stage with different events, tournaments, and other things as well.
Well, that's perfect. Well, Kit, thank you so much for joining me on this, even without the technical ailments here. But appreciate all the information. And guys, again, email Kit if you have any questions whatsoever. He's happy to help. Feel free to reach out to me, and I can direct you in the right place as well. Kit, thanks, and have yourself a great evening.
You too, man. I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. And just wanted a quick reminder, guys. We are a nonprofit, and your donation makes a big impression on us. We can do a lot of things with your donation. There's ways for you to donate on our website. So make sure you go to okenergyfc.org, look for the donate button, and you can quickly donate, contribute to scholarships or coaching education or different programs within the club. Your donations are vital to our club, so we appreciate everybody who donates. And on that same note, thank you to all of our sponsors. We have some really awesome sponsors out there, and we're adding to them. We couldn't do what we're doing without you, and I just want to make sure that everybody understands or recognizes these great sponsors for OEFC. Thank you so much. It's you're really the backbone of what we can do here. Guys, have yourselves a great